Hey, hey, hey.
Hey.
Happy Wednesday, ladies.
It's Wednesday.
And we
It
were
is
done.
Wednesday. On Wednesday, we wear diamonds. Welcome back to another episode of the Hustle and Shine podcast. I am your host, Natima Sheree, Queen Pen of TGI and the Diamond Writers.
It's your girl Mel V, the MV pen.
And of course, I'm Tiffany Mathias, the one true Phoenix.
The one true Phoenix. Oh my gosh, I miss you guys. Last week we were not here because it was the diamond heist, and our culture keeper, Jessica, did an amazing job of hosting all by herself. Now, of course, our gems and gents did not know what was going on behind the scenes because she handled it like a G. Like you would have never thought that that was not the original plan for the show. It was not. But she still handled it like a G. So much love to Jessica for taking care of that diamond heist. She exceeded the diamond standard in every way. The conversation was engaging. Her energy was dope. She listened to the audience. She responded insightfully. It went so well. Honestly, you would think that was our intent. So kudos to you, Jessica. Thanks for heisting and taking over last week. Tiff, I'm gonna come to you. I know you got a couple of things to chat about and talk about before we jump into tonight's topic.
Yeah, so first and foremost, a happy birthday shout out to our Diamond Sweets Rights. Woo! Happy birthday, beloved.
Y'all want me to sing it to her? Y'all want me to? No, okay.
You want the FCC to cut us off?
Okay.
Yes, and she released her passion project, her journal. So it is available on Amazon. I don't have the link, but if Sweets or whichever diamonds are here in the space, because she did drop it for us, y'all better drop that link so that we can share it with the community. Yes. So come on through, Sweets. Happy birthday, beloved. We are celebrating you today.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Drop those gems, y'all. Drop those gems and those balloons and those party hats and all the things, all the emojis. Drop them for Sweets.
All the things.
Drop them. Give the girl her flowers today while she is here to smell and appreciate them. Yes, thank you. So yes, that was the first one. Amazing job that we did with the Her Story series. It was so amazing.
Agreed.
The guests that we had on were phenomenal. Like these were phenomenal women. Yes, they were. And I just loved how, even though Jess's interview didn't go the way that it was supposed to, at least by what she thought, by the universe's plan and design, it was her story that needed to be told and her mother's story. And so I was happy to be in the audience to listen and hear some of that.
Agreed. I agree.
Absolutely. It was a vibe.
It really was.
Y'all still trying to steal my doctor.
You said what?
I said y'all still trying to steal my doctor.
No doubt. Like the day I get back to social media, I am going to follow her and stalk her. Pretty much, yeah. That's the plan. That's my plan. Shamelessly, that is my plan. That's my plan.
I thought you were only going for Lent. Easter pass. You're supposed to be back on now. 40 days, 40 nights. Can you come back, please?
You know what? Here's the thing. I don't miss it at all. Like when I say like at all, like my days are so good. I am not distracted by scrolling or, posting and all the stress of all of that. And I kept telling myself, okay, I'm going to go back on the 5th. And now that we're approaching the 5th, I'm like, I'm going to give myself to the 10th. And I'm probably going to get to the 10th and be like, let's just go to the 30th. Because I'm really not missing social media. I'm still on YouTube though, like a junkie. I'm on YouTube. I can't live without that red pill content or Tim Ross. I got to go to the basement at least once a week. I'm in the basement. I don't know if y'all know his podcast about. Shame on y'all. Y'all don't know the basement?
No. Wow. Share it with us. Share it with us. Stop gatekeeping.
Don't shame us. Share with
I'm
us.
shaming you. How have you been living life? Like, what? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Tim Ross used to be a pastor. He stepped down. He started as a youth pastor and then, actually pastored a church, and then he stepped down, and now he runs a podcast and multiple businesses. He just built an app. Like, he's just doing all the things. He is by far the realest pastor I've ever seen in my life. Like, I had the pleasure of meeting him back in 2005 when I was still married, and attending Set the Captive Free. Shout out to Reverend Dr. Pastor Mathias there. She's freaking phenomenal. But anyway, she brought him to the church. He preached. My ex-husband and I got to meet him. And ever since then, I've just been, a fan of his. I hate to use the term fan, but that's pretty much what I was, a fan. And more recently, he probably about a year or so, or 2 years ago, he started his podcast, The Basement. You want candid, transparent conversation about faith and life and energy and merging it all together to make it work so that you don't lose your mind and kill nobody and still, love the Lord and represent. That's the podcast you need in your life. Like, it's the greatest blend of faith and real life. Like, I don't even know how people make it through their week without it, because I'm a junkie. Like, I'm like, oh God, where's the next episode? Because
not a junkie.
So y'all got to check that out. Check that out. Shout out to Tim Ross. Shout out to him.
Well, I wrote it down. Tim Ross, The Basement. Okay, I'm gonna go and look it up. But in the meanwhile, what I want to do is let everybody who's here right now in the space with us like, share, comment, subscribe, tag a friend who needs to be in the space. Today's episode is Dear Diamonds. Y'all asked for it. We were trying not to, go that route this season, but y'all were hitting the inbox with the letters, and we picked 3 really good ones.
Yeah.
We're gonna answer some of those. But before we do, it is time for me to sip and shine.
Yes, let's do the sip and shine.
All right. So Tima might not have been on social media, but I was. And one of the things that swept social media in the month of March was the Netflix movie Shirley. It is a biopic about Shirley Chisholm, the first woman, not just African-American woman, but the first woman to run for president of the United States. And the lead actress, Regina King, oh my God. She killed this role, like annihilated it. If I closed my eyes and just listened, I couldn't tell that was an actress portraying someone else. Yeah. But my sip and shine is going to Regina, because I was like, she's been around for a minute. So the world got introduced to Regina King, actor, director, producer, in 1985, when she joined the sitcom 227 as Little Brenda Jenkins.
Yeah.
Right? But then she was in so many movies. I didn't realize how hefty her portfolio was until I was like, oh, let me go and check out Regina. So, okay, I loved her as the voices of the people in the Boondocks. She was Huey and Riley Freeman, coming through with the gem drops all day out of the mouths of little children. She has over 60 awards under her belt, including an Academy Award for If Beale Street Could Talk, Critics' Choice Awards, Golden Globes, Emmy Awards, Screen Actors Guild Awards, awards. And all of that almost came to a halt in 2022 when her son tragically lost his life because of his battle with depression and everything like that. And she really contemplated like what her life was going to be like without her son, her one and only child. And she thought about giving up acting and just like retiring to just be by herself. And then she decided to turn her pain into a passion. She now only takes roles and takes on projects that she believes her son would align with and agree that, like, yeah, Ma, go for it.
Uh-oh. Okay, Tiff froze. That's all right.
Well, while she froze,
children. So, Regina King, tonight we sip and shine to you and your beautiful self and your human self who you have been exposing the world to. Cheers, my sister.
Cheers, cheers. Of course, I forgot my glass tonight, but I have plenty of water over here. No, I have been a fan of hers pretty much my entire life. I watched her on 227, loved her in Boys in the Hood. She was absolutely hilarious. And I like the versatility because we knew her as a good girl as Brenda. So to see her little sassy and hood, you know,
poetic justice.
Exactly, poetic justice. Yeah. But I have to say, one of my favorite recent roles of hers, I loved her in The Harder They Fall. She mastered that accent and the persona of her character. I was like, yo, I'm scared of her. Like real life, like scared of her. Like she was amazing.
She said, we ain't no nincompoop.
Yes.
She's a beast.
Amazing in that role.
In front of and behind the screen, the camera. She's amazing. I think what was really dope too, because I watched, of course, the documentary, Shirley documentary. The woman that played Shirley Chisholm's sister in the movie was Regina King's sister in real life.
Yes.
And so her sister used to be an actress as well years ago. And she stopped acting, but she's been producing. She's produced a lot of stuff. And so Regina convinced her to come out of retirement specifically to play this role alongside her. And I thought that was super dope to be like, no, I have this major role. I need you as my sister next to me for this. Like, I need you to come back in front of the camera for this. So I thought that was super, super dope.
That is dope. Wow.
Yeah.
That's right. Sharing the coins, sharing the bag. Come on, sis. Come do this project with me. Exactly. I loved it.
Exactly.
And if you haven't, Netflix, Shirley, go watch it. Put it in your queue.
It's good.
It's amazing.
Speaking of Netflix, off topic, Netflix won my heart by bringing Martin to the platform. I have been watching Martin like all day, every day. My stomach has cramps because I've been laughing as if I'm seeing it for the first time. Today I was watching the episode while working when somebody stole the CD player, but really Brother Man from the Fifth Floor had it. I was hollering. I was in pure tears with the dog.
With the fake Rottweiler?
With the fake Rottweiler. I was no good. So yeah, shout out to Netflix for picking up one of the dopest sitcoms ever. Not black sitcoms ever. There will never be a show that can top Martin. I'm sorry, y'all can try, but it just won't happen. All right, let's get to these letters real quick though before we get into the letters to. Let's see who's in the comments. Shout out to Jessica in the comments. We see you, Culture Keeper. Hey, Danielle. We see you, Lady J.A. Thank you for being here. Bernadette, welcome. Good night, Diamonds. We see you. And we thank you all for being here. Definitely love the love for Sweets. We see some happy birthday shout outs and some love for Regina. And we so appreciate it. So look, we're going to get into these letters. Before we do, go tell people. Go tell a friend to tell a gym. Get in here. Get in here. Y'all going to want this. Y'all may need this advice. Y'all may know someone that needs this advice. So go ahead. Share the live. Real quick. Go on. We'll wait. Go share the live. Go.
I'm mad we both doing it.
Okay. Now, Tiff, you can go.
All right. So our first letter that came in that we selected is from someone who called themselves, but it's my birthday. Go shorty. And, but it's my birthday says, Dear Diamonds, my birthday is coming up and I want to celebrate my life. I have already planned in my head an elaborate semi-formal dinner party with catered food, music, the works, because I like to partay. The guest list is already compiled and full of friends and families whose birthdays and momentous occasions I have attended. I have flown to destination weddings, attended too many children's birthday parties to count, and I don't even have kids. I've also attended my fair share of restaurant birthday dinners where the food was whack, the drinks were weak, and the bill way too expensive. I say all this to say I have shown up to celebrate others. Now, my issue is that as I have talked about my plans, I'm hearing a lot of these same people dropping hints that they won't be able to attend my event. This is taking the excitement out of my plans, and I'm not looking for gifts or people to spend anything on me. I'm paying for it all. All I want is the presence of my loved ones, and I don't think I'm going to get the turn out for my birthday turn up. This breaks my heart. Before I book a venue and start paying for things, should I forego my party and do something else, or should I move forward with my plans and whoever doesn't come, cut them off? Sincerely, but it's my birthday. Okay. But it's my birthday.
Before you comment, I love the all. Your New York was all in the letter. All. Okay, go ahead.
All right, here we go. But it's my birthday. The key word in your signature is it's you. All right. This is your day, and do what's going to make you happy. So if that means getting dressed up and having a catered dinner, invite every and anybody you think should be there that you want there, right? But don't place consequences on those who don't come. Like, that's too much energy that you're giving them there. The next thing is, we as people have to stop basing our value or our self-importance or whatever it is on the measurement of other people. Like, we have to stop doing that. It's about you. If you want to celebrate your life, go ahead and do so. I'm sure you deserve to. We all deserve to celebrate our lives. But stop basing your own importance on what other people do or don't do. And then I wanted to say, enjoy the company of those who do come. If you focus on the ones who didn't come, then you're throwing shade or not valuing the people who did come, which is what your letter is about. It's like, you don't think the people who aren't coming value you, but then the ones that are valuing you by showing up, all you're thinking about or potentially thinking about are the people who didn't come. So celebrate with those who came to celebrate you. And don't worry about consequences. Again, let that go. All right. And then the last thing, girl, drop a diamond right at the invite, because we like to turn up and some of us might show up too.
I was gonna go there, yes.
I catch a flight quick.
Yeah.
I might cater it.
No.
Right.
Ask for an invoice.
Right. Okay, no.
But no. No.
What's your response?
You said no. Okay, I take it back.
I agree with Tiff. Like, I threw myself my 40th birthday last year, and I threw my party for me. I wanted to throw a party. I was like, I haven't thrown a big celebration for myself. I'm always planning other people's stuff. I haven't done for myself. So I did it for me. Whoever came. Whoever didn't come, that's your business. You missed the party of the year. And don't ask me about it, because I'm not sharing. You didn't get to see no pictures because you should have been there. But at the end of the day, like, it's your party. So, like, if you want to have a party, don't not have a party because people are saying they're not gonna come. The party is for you. Like, you gotta stop. We have to stop doing things for like other people. And I don't mean do things like to help people, but we have to stop planning things based on other people. Oh, I'm gonna do this because these people will come. No, do it because that's what you want. Because if you start basing your decision on other people, you are always going to feel let down because you're doing it on the premise of what other people's reaction going to be, what other people are going to do or say. Don't do that. It's your birthday. If you want a party, throw a party. I don't care if you throw a party for yourself. Like, whatever it is, throw your party. If you don't want to throw a party and you're really only doing the party because you want people to show up, then you need to not spend your money.
Right.
Like, don't throw a party just because you're like, oh, I want people to show up. You can do something way less expensive just for that. But if you want to have a party to celebrate yourself, celebrate your life, celebrate your accomplishments, then throw your party. Whoever shows up, shows up. Whoever doesn't, they'll look at the pictures and be mad that they missed it. And that's it. But don't hold it against them. I mean, you know these people in your life. We don't know them. So you know whether or not them not coming is because of a prior, a responsibility or prior engagement, or if they're just not that type of person. Right. You know these people. Right. So you have to judge that. So if you know that, okay, well, this is somebody that goes to everybody else's functions, but they're not coming to mine, then maybe that's something you need to evaluate. If this is somebody that doesn't really go to stuff like that anyway, then you really can't be mad if they don't come to your stuff.
Right.
So you really have to evaluate the individual and your relationship with that individual and determine how much them coming or not coming is really an impact on the value of y'all relationship and friendship. A lot of people didn't come to my party. It wasn't because they didn't want to or they couldn't. It's for whatever reasons. They didn't live here. They lived out of state. Whatever their reasons were, they didn't come, but they still wished me the best and, sent their love and whatever. And that was it. And I still had a blast with the people that were there.
Right.
And that's just it. So I'm going to say at the end of it all, have a party because you want a party, not because you want to have something for other people, because that's when you set yourself up for disappointment.
Right.
But girl, you like to partay, so partay.
That part.
How people show up, have it the best 6-person party you ever had in your life. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I have a different view on it than my co-host, which is fine. As someone who's born in the dead of winter, January, I am used to people never being at my birthday parties. I'm used to never having a birthday party. However, it sounds like to me, and I could be wrong, it sounds like you want more of an audience than you want party members. Like, I feel like you are basing your birthday on their attendance when it's still going to be your birthday, whether they're there or not. Like, it's still your day. You're still going to be a day older. And focus on that. One of the things that my good friend and I were talking about a couple of weeks ago was you don't always reap where you've sown. There are going to be times where you sow into other people's lives in one area and they sow back into yours in a completely different area. You talked about all the events that you've supported, all the parties you've gone to, all the things you've attended for them. That doesn't mean that that's how they're going to show up for you. Some don't have the capacity to travel to a party. They don't have the babysitter. I ain't never got a damn babysitter. So I am never going to a party. Just putting that out there. Sorry. I'm back. But so it could be that, but I show up for my friends in other ways. And so instead of focusing on, like, Tiff and Mel said, instead of focusing on who won't be in attendance, who won't be able to come, just focus on who will be there, but also quiet your own negative self-talk, because you haven't even sent the invitations yet. And you're already like, I have a feeling they're not going to show up. You're already sabotaging your day with your own words. So be careful what you speak. If you want people there, say that. I've shown up for people. I've celebrated. I can't wait for them to be able to return that love to me. You have to speak that into existence. You have to speak that into the atmosphere, because if you're already thinking no one's going to come, should I cancel it? That's likely going to be the outcome, because that's where you're investing your energy. That's where you're focusing your thoughts. So focus on the opposite. I'm going to have a dope party. I'm going to turn up. I'm going to have a nice outfit. And then the folks that are come, they will be drawn to that energy. So that's all I had to say about that, because I really just want you to change your perspective. Focus less on the audience and more on the fellowship of celebrating you. If you have to do that with the event coordinator of the venue and 2 friends and a neighbor and a lady from the OBGYN office, girl, go in. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Go in. That's it.
I kind of want to point out something that's like not the premise of the letter, but that just stands out for me, is you seem like you burden yourself to go to everybody else's things. It sounds like you're like, well, I go here and I go here. Like, you feel obligated.
Yep.
And so I want to impart on you, like, stop putting yourself in a position to feel like now you feel like people owe you something in return. Like, if you don't want to go to these people's functions just out of the pure genuineness of your heart and because you just want to be there, don't go.
Yeah.
Like, if you're only going because you want to now feel like I've done this for them, so now they owe to do this back to me, then you're doing stuff out of the wrong reasons in the first place.
Yeah.
And one, that energy can be sensed and felt, because people kind of feel like, well, she only does this stuff because she expects us to do stuff in return. Right. So I feel like in your letter, the way you emphasize that, it was like, well, I do this and I do this and I do this. Well, why they can't do this for me? Well, why did you do the stuff for them in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
If it was
Exactly.
done out of the pure, genuine kindness of your heart, then it wouldn't matter. There would be no account for it. There'd be no documentation of, well, I went to 6 of your parties and 3 of your baby showers and 2 of your, you like documented like how much stuff you went to. Like, well, you coming. That's not, you're not showing up genuine and authentic. You're showing up to create a tab to then use when you need it and back at them. So I feel like that's what I want to point out about this is like, it was like you were building up the tab for when your party came. Like, okay, well, I built up this much. Look, now y'all got to come to mine. That's
That's
not how you
good.
show for people. Like, if you're going to go to people's event, go. And if you felt like, I don't know if this is the first time you've had something, but if you've been showing up for these people all this time and they haven't showed up for you, you probably should have stopped showing up for them. Long time
Mm-hmm.
ago. Like, so that you don't now feel this weight of, obligation, so to speak, or this sense of like betrayal or whatever that you feel now if people don't show up for you because you've overextended yourself to be there for these people with an expectation. We got to stop doing things with an expectation because when we set that up, we set ourselves up for disappointment and failure because you weren't doing something because you genuinely wanted to do it. You were doing it with an ulterior motive of, I'm going to do this so that this person does that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. One of the things that struck me the most in the letter was talking about going to their fair share baby birthday parties for children and not even having a child. Why are you there? Those things are not fun. Those things are not fun. Like, I have children, and trust and believe, if I didn't have the children, I wouldn't be at the birthday party. Like, it's just kids running around screaming and hollering. And then, like me, I want to have a drink or two or whatever it is. And then I don't want these kids wanting to know what's in my cup or like putting down my cup and fearing like a kid gonna run up and drink. Because if you got little people around you, little kids will run up and eat and drink right behind you. They don't care. So
They don't care.
what was the motivation in attending some of these events? And as the MV Pen was saying, like, were you sitting there like, if I go to this person thing, I expect them to come here. If I go to that person thing, I expect them to come there. If you're doing something out of the kindness of your heart, then one, it shows up genuinely. And this is possibly why people are like kind of like iffy about they're gonna come to your thing, because they don't know if you really showed up with a genuine and whole heart to be at their event, or if you were looking for the reciprocity. Now, if you're looking for reciprocity, there are organizations out there where you can do that. Like, you join social clubs and organizations, and it's literally, I attend your event if you attend mine. But if these are your family, if these are your friends, these are your kinfolk, then it shouldn't matter how many of their things that you went to and whether or not they're going to show up.
Yep.
Those who love you are going to show up. And those who feel like, yeah, she just here because it looked good for her, yeah, if that's not their energy, then they're not going to be there. And then be wary if that's the energy that somebody's showing up with at your thing.
Right. Right.
girl, these kids parties will
We're
drop your
still
zip
a
off.
diamond writer because we like to celebrate life.
Yeah,
We
of
like to
course.
celebrate.
Exactly. But listen, for them kids parties, girl, get the gift, go drop it off, say hello, and be out. 30 minutes tops.
That's it. Yeah.
Keep it
All
pushing.
right. Did any of the guests, any of the audience members have any advice too?
Let's see what's going on with the goings on. We're getting a lot of hello. Kiara says, hey, Diamond Writer. Kiara says, I'm gonna rent a hotel room, order a gang of champagne, and do the Running Man real hard for 5 minutes and go to sleep. Kiara, why? Why are you going to the
Sounds like a
hotel?
good time to me.
That's you getting the champagne there. Bernadette says, I agree. The people that want to be there will be there. Celebrate yourself and focus on having a great time. Period. That's all we want. That's all we want to see. Ivory says, me too, January. No. Us January babies, we know.
Right here.
Cold.
I gave birth to a January baby.
It's not fun. We don't really have no real birthday party. That's why I celebrate June 7th and January 7th, because June is my unbirthday, since I don't get a real birthday in January. So, yeah.
And we so close to
Okay,
Christmas.
Alice in Wonderland.
Right.
Like,
All
and we
right,
still
let's
close
get
to
to this
Christmas.
next
It's
letter.
crazy. All right, next letter. So this letter is entitled "Not Alone but Lonely."
Mm.
Interesting.
Dear Diamonds, I need some advice. I am a mother of four beautiful children whom I love dearly. I run multiple businesses and created a sustainable life for myself and my family. After my divorce, I swore off marriage and had settled into living the single life and just focusing on my kids and myself. But then came a man that pursued me to no end. I was very upfront with him in the beginning and told him that I had no desire to get married again. He was also divorced, by the way. We began dating and he pulled out all the stops. He loved and cared for me like no man ever before. He took us on trips, showered me with attention, cared for my children, and was everything a man should be to a woman. Fast forward, he ended up proposing and we got married, and then everything changed. Now what I'm about to say may sound like the ideal life for some, but this is where my confusion comes in. I have no wants financially. He pays all the bills, will buy whatever we all need at any time, but he now wants me to be the consummate housewife. But that comes with a price. We spend no time together. He is constantly working or on his phone. We scheduled our couple time, and many times when those days come up, he has to cancel due to work, or we do go out. He's not present, just always on his phone. We've gone to counseling, but that hasn't helped as to him, his main job is to be a provider. I can respect and appreciate that, but I want to spend time with my man. And it's hard because we used to spend so much time together. As I mentioned, I was never looking for a man to take care of me, but now I find myself feeling as if I'm being ungrateful because I'd rather the time with him than the money. I know there are women out there that would love to be a stay at home wife and be fully financially taken care of, but that was not my dream. I need quality time and I don't want to start looking for it elsewhere. Am I being unreasonable? Should I just sit back and be happy with what he provides and not care about spending time with him? Am I being ungrateful? I feel alone. Please help. Sincerely, not alone but lonely.
Mm.
You see my face like
That's a lot to unpack, and we only
that.
got 27 minutes left in the show.
And a whole nother letter to do. So we
Right.
gotta get through this one.
Oh,
Um,
oh, the pumpkin.
yeah. Okay. So, I'm not one to be like to ever tell somebody to leave their situation. Clearly there was enough there to to want to invest in the beginning. I think that you need to get to okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit. I feel like you need to get to his deeper root of why his sense for wanting and having to need to provide so much is such a thing for him. I feel like there's something there, like that's making him feel like, no, I have to do to have and like over. Because if you're saying you're at a point right now where y'all are financially stable, everything is good, um, I feel like he has this unearthed need to like over provide. And that may come from maybe, what he didn't have growing up as a kid. Maybe there's some things that he feels like or maybe that's how he grew up. Maybe his father was just like, I provide all that he does and wasn't there. So that's all he knows. Um, Now, however, you said that y'all went to counseling and that hasn't helped. So, yeah, I feel like it's kind of like if you've expressed your desires to him and you've told him you need time, you want this, you need this, and he's not reciprocating your needs at all. It's not being ungrateful. You're not being ungrateful, you're not being unreasonable. You want what you want, and that's where I think it's very important that we have to learn love languages.
Mm-hmm.
We don't oftentimes we love people how we want to love them,
Right.
not how they need to be loved. And so there's a saying that says, just because you say you love me doesn't mean I feel loved by you.
Mm-hmm.
And so for him, he may feel like I'm showing you that I love you because I'm working and I'm providing and I'm making sure that you and your kids have, or our kids have, or they, whatever, how it goes, have everything they need and you have no wants. So to him, that may be his way of showing love.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
but you have to also express to him that quality time to you is more important than the money. Um, but that's a tough one. it's all these women out here that y'all, I want this soft life, I want this. Understand that it comes with certain pros and cons to wanting to be financially taken care of. You know, if you want a man that has a hustle and that grinds, he's gonna have less time. So you have to figure out the balance on what really matters, I guess, and what's important, and then finding a balance. There has to be balance, obviously. He can't work 24 hours a day and give you no quality time. But then you also have to understand if he has to work in whatever his job is. I don't know if he had this job before y'all got married and whatever, what the demands of his career are. And then you need to decide whether or not that's something you can live with or not. That's tough because it's not like he doesn't love you or he's abusing you or like mistreating you in a sense, although neglect can be a form of mistreatment. So that's tough. But I feel like if you're going to counseling and the counseling isn't helping, you have a right to desire and require your sense of happiness and receive that. You're not wrong or unreasonable for wanting your happiness. And if that's not something you can find in your marriage, then you might be headed for divorce number 2.
Wow, Mel.
That's real. Tiff, did you want to go, or are you okay if I go? Or
I guess as the married person on the panel, I can chime in from that lens and perspective. Yeah, first of all, in any relationship, but particularly a marriage, it's about evolution and the constant change. And sometimes, a lot of times, the two people do not change and evolve at the same pace. And what's important to one person is not important to the other. So right now, his priority is being a provider for not just you, but for the children that you came into the marriage with. And so that is something that's very important there too. Yes, you provided stability and you were able to take care of them prior to him coming in. But there was another layer added there, and blending families is not something that's easy, and maintaining the blend is way more difficult. Is it possible that though you weren't looking for these things in the beginning, at least you didn't think you were looking for them, you were giving out the signal that these are the things that you wanted? And then he read the signals and then love bombed you to the point where maybe you lost your original sense of self and independence, and now you want that back? There's so many different levels to this. As far as the counseling goes, how many times did you go to counseling? People be like, I went to counseling and all they did was the intake.
One session.
Did y'all go to when you were in a healing journey? It's not one session or a package of sessions, like 12 sessions, and then you're healed. So how much time did the two of you invest into the counseling? Was the counselor the right counselor for y'all?
Right.
There are marriage counselors who are spiritual, and there are some that are religious based. There are some who are in the middle. There are some pro for the man or husband. There's maybe whoever that counselor wasn't the right counselor for y'all. And maybe you need to go back and search again, maybe do a little bit more research on what that counselor's specialties are and what they actually can help with. Because if I got a toothache, I can go to the doctor, but if it's not the dentist, I went to the doctor. Exactly. You didn't go to the right one. Right. So yeah, I think there's more to unpack. Don't head for the big D just yet. And continue to not only speak on what's troubling you in the relationship, but maybe open your ears and find out what might be troubling him, because it could also be avoidance, all of this time he's spending at work. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
That is good advice. That's good advice. So as always, y'all know I'm gonna deal with you first. I'm gonna deal with the writer. I ain't gonna say nothing about the man. Try to deal with you. That man showed you who he was. You didn't believe him because the first thing you said after he pulled all the stops was he was providing, giving you and your children everything. Y'all didn't want for nothing. He set that tone in the beginning. You somehow translated to because he's providing, he's also going to show up romantically. You not once said that he did, unless I missed it, but I didn't read that part in the letter. The first thing that stood out, you confirmed and reaffirmed that he was a provider from the beginning. So he kind of showed you who he was, and you were like, that's not a red flag. That's more like maroon. It's burgundy, maybe on the pink side. Like, that's not red. No, sis, that was red, and you went forward anyway. So you got to kind of own that. The other thing I want to say is, he sounds like he's in survival mode. Been there, okay, yep. Was in a whole relationship where I was the provider. Unfortunately, whatever. And all I did was work. I didn't spend no time. I didn't come out of my office to check on them. I just assumed they were cool because I was providing. And so that is a fruit of survival mode. So give him some grace. I would, before going to therapy though, talk to him again. And the reason I'm encouraging that is because sometimes our approach is so me focused, they shut down and stop listening anyway. So if you went to him with, I don't feel like you spend time, and I don't feel like you're the way, he's not listening anymore. He's done. He's done with you. If you go to him with, I really miss you. Your presence is missed when it's not in this house. I would love to have more of you, more time with you. If you come at that approach, he might hear you. And then bringing in a counselor before you've given him an opportunity to solution. And the reason I know that you didn't, because I'm a woman. I be sitting down. I know how we are. We literally will tell our man our issue. And then in 3 days, if he doesn't fix it, we're pulling in other people. Did you give him time to try and work on it? Or were you like, it's been 2.5 days. You're still working too much. I don't care if it's already the same week that I told you the issue was what the issue was. I needed you to stop everything and be at home. Yeah, that's not going to happen. And so did you really give him time to fix what you said was an issue? I'm just asking. I mean, these are just real questions. I just want to know because I've been there. Okay. I've said, hey, I don't like the way you leave your shoes in the middle of the floor. And then the next morning, what the these shoes, I didn't give him no time. He didn't get no time. Like, give the man a day.
Get out my house.
I talk about you, babe. So anyway, y'all give the man time to change. Okay, that's number one. Or number two. The last thing I want to say is make sure that you are showing up in the relationship the way he's used to. One of our prior guests, Toy McCoy, shout out to him. He was on the show and he had given me some really great advice. He had said, men approach the relationship based on what you showed them in the beginning. Women approach the relationship based on what we think you have the potential to become. So maybe you're not being what you presented yourself as in the beginning. And so bro is outside. I know when I was in my last relationship, I used to sit out in the car for extra 25 minutes. I just ain't feel like being in the house yet. Maybe he taking extra shifts because he just don't feel like being in the house yet. So work on you too. Like, don't just keep pointing the finger. Is there something about you that's changed? Are you providing the same things that you provided during the dating and courting season of y'all relationship? Or have you gotten comfortable with him being provided, kicked your feet up, but to him or to you, it seems like he's working too much? Have you added additional expenses that he didn't have before? Now he has to work overtime to pay for your G-Wagon. I mean, I don't know, because there's a lot missing from the letter. I'm just throwing things out there. So that's all I want to say, sis. Look at you too before you are only like this, because it could be you. You could have shifted the dynamic as well. So that's all I want to say.
Girl, you said it was something missing from the letter. She sent an Aaliyah 4-page letter to us. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
I missed some stuff.
No, so like to point out what you said, like it did mention that in the beginning, it was like he showed up. He gave her attention. He took her out. They spent time together.
Okay.
And so I'm just like, I mean, and that's why I said like you got to find out, and it's different. And I think we're also not to say that it should matter, but for most men, the title of a husband changes responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are dating, he's courting, and of course y'all are spending time and y'all have attention, and he's probably still helping and providing and doing little things here and there because that just seems like who he is at nature. But once he now legally takes on this responsibility of you and your family and his kid, I don't know if he has kids, but his kids and they have this family, that's another level of responsibility now. So now he's like, oh, I have to, you know what I'm saying? Provide for this. And so you mentioned about being a consummate housewife. Now, if that's not something you want to do, then you need to voice that.
Yeah.
And be like, I don't want to be a housewife. I was working when you met me. I want to continue to work, but we got to find a balance. I'll cook Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know. But y'all got to figure out something that works for both of you, because it seems like he wants a housewife. You want a husband that works less hours. Apparently something happened between however long y'all were dating until got married, where you were still you doing whatever you were doing and he was giving you all this time and attention. Something happened. I'm like, maybe his debt went up, his child support went up, I don't know, but something happened why this man now feels like he needs to quadruple his bank account in 3 hours. Something happened. If, like I said, if you're saying you were getting this time and all that was happening then, and that is happening, something happened, and it could be one of a number of things. I would hate to think that you got gaslighted. I would hate to think that you got tricked. Like, and sorry that happens. Like Tip said, if you show up and say these are the things that you need, that's what they're gonna give you. So if you're like, I like to go on trips and I like to do this, that's he wants to get you. So that's what they're gonna show you. I don't remember what I was watching or listening to the other day, and he was like, women, you have to stop giving men the playbook of what you want, because you're telling him everything he needs to know to do. So he's going to do that. That doesn't mean that that's who he is genuinely. If you say, I like to open my car door, he may not be a man that opens his car door, but because you told him that's what you want, he's going to do that. Eventually, it's going to fade out.
Because it's not who he really is.
It's not who he really is. So he was like, you have to stop telling these men, I want flowers on Tuesday, and I want this on this, and I like a man that does. Like, let him show up who he is and see how that fits in, instead of giving him all the tools to what you need, because of course he's going to be everything that you want, because you told him who to be.
But to add on to that, I think what happens for some people is they give the playbook, they give the open book test, and then get mad when the other person gets the answer wrong. And it's possible because it's about interpretation. And I think there might be something, and Mel, you kind of skated on it, about something changed. There is something that I know about me and my relationship that my husband does not. And it's not that I'm withholding it. Maybe I'm having a difficult time processing it, or I don't know how to say it, or whatever it is. There's different layers to it. But on the flip side of that, there's something about our relationship that he knows that I do not. But we're not 100% truthful with anyone about anything. So there's something that's missing that he had the answer to, that you either A, haven't worded the question correctly in order to, or made him feel safe enough to divulge whatever this information is. Like it was said, maybe he's got some debt. Maybe whatever the change is, it might not be about you, sis. It's about him.
Exactly.
It's about him. And I think Mel said it initially, like, why is it so important for him to be this level of provider? A lot of the reasons and how we show up as adults is stemmed from something that happened to us as children. So how much do you know about his backstory? Does he come from a household where his father set the bar at, like, this is what a provider is? Or was there not a father around at all and he has to figure this out and navigate it on his own? So open up some more dialogue. Like Tima said, before you hop into the counselor, but I'm still going to say, if you hop into the counselor, make sure it's the right one.
And that's the thing. I'm all for counseling. Y'all know I've been in therapy several years now, but I just feel like we don't always give our men an opportunity to change before we start pulling in other things like fix him, fix him. You didn't even give him a chance to fix him. You are immediately pulling in someone else. And this is the last thing I'm gonna say before I read my letter. Like, we don't know what changed for him financially. Did he pay for the wedding by himself? That could be some debt he's trying to recover. Did he buy y'all a new home when y'all merged your families? So there's so many things she didn't share as to why he could possibly be working as hard as he does. I know for me personally, if I don't keep a certain amount of money in my checking and my savings account, I start to panic and think I'm going to be broke. Mind you, those numbers are usually far from broke, but because of, my financial trauma, I can't allow my bank. And I'm like, nope, I gotta do some side hustles. I gotta, like, I'm always looking to make more money to bring that number back up. And it's like, I remember my ex was like, you are so far from being broke, it's ridiculous. But in my head, anything below this threshold, that's it. I'm on the street. And that's all in my mind. And so that could be the same thing for him. So just have a little bit more grace for him. You have no idea the added pressure, like Mel says, that comes with husband and provider. And that could have been all he saw his dad do for his mother, was provide. No romance, none of those other things. So you just never know. All right, let's jump into this last letter so we can let the gems and gents go. Thank y'all for bearing with us. I did not recognize that Tiff and I both had technical. I can't even talk tonight. Technical difficulties. Can y'all tell I had wine already? The technical difficulties that we faced. I thank y'all for not, giving us a hard time and leaving the show. All right, last letter. Let's jump in. It is titled "Respectfully Too Grown for the Games." All right. It says, "Dear Diamonds, I want to preface by saying that in no way am I bitter, petty, or jealous, but more or less fed up with a so-called friend of mine. This chick and I have known each other since we were 7 years old. We met in second grade and have been inseparable since, well, until recently. I never wanted to admit it or accept it, but I feel like she's always been jealous of me and in some unspoken competition with me. We both went to college and grad school, but I got married first, purchased my house first, had children first, and started my business first. And even though I've included her in celebrating every milestone with me, she always makes it about her or finds a way to ruin my celebration or event. For the last 6 months, the friendship has been one-sided. I reach out to her first, call her, etc. She's been posting some weird posts lately that have seemed like low-key shade, but when I confront her, she won't respond, or she'll say it's about someone else. I love my friend and trying to reconcile and work through our stuff, but she acts like she doesn't even want the friendship anymore. Should I keep trying, continue reaching out, or just let the 20+ year friendship end? Sincerely, Too Grown for Games." All right, let me get rid of the letter. So here's the thing, Too Grown for Games. I wrote down a couple of things for you. Nice, team, be nice. Okay, so respectfully, you sound selfish as, okay? The friendship sounds one-sided because of you, not her. Let's go to the videotape. From the beginning of the letter, it's been about you. I didn't hear you say nothing about how you showed up for her, how you supported her, what you done for her. This entire letter has been dripping in me juice. Like, that's all I see is me, mine, myself. Let me go back and make sure I'm not correct. No, it's been all about you, this entire letter. It sounds extremely one-sided. I've already said that. And I can comment boldly about this because not only have I had friendships like this, I've been this kind of friend. I've been the friend where I wasn't showing up as much as they were showing up for me. I wasn't doing as much as they were doing for me. I wasn't celebrating them the way I wanted to be celebrated. And that's because I was in a season of pain and hurt. And one thing my really good girlfriend told me is that pain makes us selfish. And when we heal, that's when we have the capacity. It opens up to serve others. Mm-hmm. So maybe she's going through something. And so instead of you making it about you, reach out genuinely and see if she's okay. Because the way you wrote this letter, I'm pretty confident that's how you're reaching out to her about you. Why aren't you responding to me? Why does your post sound like you're talking about me? Why are you not my friend right now? Did you even try to reach out to her to check up on her? Have you celebrated anything that she's done? Are you celebrating anything that she's doing? Um, One thing like this really has nothing to do with, well, it does have something to do with the letter, but I really want us to normalize being able to hear our friends' good news and not have a Me Too moment. Like, if I call you and say something great happened for me, I don't need you to then turn around and tell me something that great happened for you. Like, we need to stop doing that. Like, let's learn how to celebrate our friends without us having to celebrate us in that moment too. That is extremely selfish and egoic, and it needs to stop. And I see it all the time. I've been in conversations where one friend will compliment another, and then another girlfriend will be like, oh, well, I did that too, or I had this happen for me. We're not talking about you right now. And that makes people not want to be around you. So are you that friend when it is about her? Are you somehow turning the tables to make it about you once again? That's just what it sounds like. It sounds like, and I mean this in the most respectful, I hope you heal and this helps you kind of way. It sounds like you have an inflated view and perception of yourself. Like, what makes you think this girl is jealous of you? If she's showing up to all of your stuff and she's a part of all of your milestones, where's the, I guess I'm not understanding. Like, where's the jealousy coming in? Because there for you. You said something like she makes it about her. How? And maybe you kept some of the key points out because you didn't want a lengthy letter. I get it. But a lot of what you said really sounds more like a you issue. Is she your only girlfriend? Because you didn't talk about any other friends. Is she your only girlfriend? And if so, do you think maybe that's why? I'm trying to be a mirror right now. All right, last thing I'm gonna say. The last thing I'm gonna say, sis, is if you are going to reach out to her one more time, please do it genuinely. Not because you want to know why she's not talking to you, why she's not responding to you, why she's not, reaching back out to you. Find out what's going on with her. Maybe something significant in her life and she's mad at you and don't know how to confront you about it. Maybe she told you about something good going on with her and you didn't show up because you're so focused on you. I've had that happen too. So that's all I'm going to say is try to be the kind of friend that you want, because it doesn't sound like you are. And many of us aren't. Many of us have to learn friendship and sisterhood. It is not something that is perpetuated. Social media keeps telling people that life is lived better independently and solo and that you don't need nobody. And so many of us have adopted that, and it's showing up in the way we relate. We're no longer being there for people. We're no longer being available to people because everything is about me, myself, and I. What I'm building, what I'm growing, what I'm doing, who I'm dating. We're not about community anymore. And so that could very well be the issue, that she's just turned off from being a understudy in your life story. Ooh. So yeah. All right, that's all.
Oh, girl. See, you called her an understudy, and what I was more thinking, like she's just like a little side character, whatever it is. So I'm sorry, Mel, if you wanted to jump in, but this letter kind of hit home for me because there was a point in time where a long-term group friendship almost imploded. And we all needed to just step back for a minute and really analyze like who we were as women. Now, what I'm going to say is this is season 4, right? Season 3, episode something, Mel Tiffany and I discussed the different types of friendships.
Yep.
So go to our page on YouTube, search friendships, and it's going to come up. We have faux friends, and look at this one putting her lip gloss on.
Right. We have faux, F-O-E, faux, F, was it?
A-U-X.
And then something else.
F-O-W.
So the point is,
right.
the point of the matter is maybe you need to go back, watch that episode, and then figure out what type of friendship it was that you had. Because you said that this friendship is 20 plus years old. Y'all have known each other since you were since y'all were in the second grade, 7 years old. But the way that you refer to your beloved sister is this chick. This chick. I would never refer to one of my good girlfriends as this chick. Now, this one that I got smoked with, yeah, she this chick, but not my good girlfriend. So that's the one thing. Like off the rip, you sounded like you wanted to smoke with her.
Yep.
So yeah, analyze what type of friend y'all are. Maybe you two are outgrowing each other. Sorry. And it's very well possible that the friendship has run its course. But you're not going to know if it's run its course until you first identify what type of friendship it is. B, look at yourself as how you show up in this friendship.
Right.
And then the last one that I want to say is really do some self-analysis on what's important to you in a friendship. Because even if this friendship has run its course or whatever it is, and this friendship disseminates, who you were in this friendship is who you're going to be in your next friendship or in your other friendship circles. You don't change characters or personalities or energies based on your circles. And if you do, then you're wearing a mask and you're not being true and genuine, which is what people probably smell and why people act the way they do towards you. So, yeah, do some reflective work. Reach out to her, sit down and have a real conversation. Have a conversation where both of your ears are open and your lips are shut so that you can really hear what it is that she has to say. Listen for understanding, not to respond and rebut what it is that she's saying. And it's possible that the friendship could be saved because you both might need to do some reflective growth work. But yeah, your letter was very self-centered. It was, yes, you wrote in, but it was, I do this, I do that. Maybe you hang out with the birthday girl. Is the birthday girl your friend?
I'm done.
Interested.
Let's link them up.
I'm gonna cut the shenanigans, but that's all I have to say.
I've been sitting over here. Because I've been really trying to, like, in my inner spirit, try to figure out like a really, really nice way to say what I need to say. But the spirit told me that I need to take a blast from the past and dip back into a Truth Hurts moment. So the following message is brought to you by Truth Hurts. Sis, she is not your friend for the same reason of how you showed up in this letter. Because you probably over here like, yep, I got married and I did this first and I did this first and I did this before you. And she's like, she don't want to be around that.
Yep.
Your letter gave me all the energy of how you show up in your friendship. And so I'm pretty sure, and I don't know her and I don't know you, but I know from the letter that you wrote in, you make her feel like she's beneath you.
That part.
You put yourself on this pedestal because you've achieved all these things before her.
Yep.
And she's tired of feeling like she's less than because she has not.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows why she hasn't had a baby yet? You would know because you've been her friend since she was 7. Who knows why she's not married? You would know because you've been her friend before 7. And every time you boast about it, brag about it, do all of that, bigging up about it, you make her feel small.
Yep.
Because you know every issue she's gone through, why these things haven't happened for her. And I'm pretty sure these may be things that she wants to happen.
Right.
And so every time you're like, you said in your letter that you allow her, or you make her a part of all of your milestones.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you include her or invite her does not mean that feels like a safe space for her. She wants to have kids. It doesn't mean that she may want to have kids. It doesn't mean that she's not happy that you have kids, but that is a constant reminder for her that she does not.
She doesn't. That part. Yep.
And at what point have you stopped to talk to your friend and see how does she feel about the fact that that has not happened for her yet? Instead of saying, oh, look at me and my family. Look what we got. Look what we do. Come do this. It's very insensitive.
Yep. Yep.
And so the fact that you listed these things off like accolades in your letter lets me know that that's how you list them to your friend. That's how you wear them. You wear these things. And I don't want you to think that I'm saying you should not be proud of your family and be proud of your husband and be proud of your job and your degrees and all that. Be proud of that. But there's a difference between being proud and being arrogant.
Yep.
There's a huge difference. And how you listed it in this letter makes me feel like you carry this as like some righteousness of like, oh, I did this, so, and you haven't, or you didn't ask me, so, like, as if you're like the Bible for these things for her. Right. And so I feel like she's tired. She's tired of you trying to sprinkle the leftover light from your shine on her, as if she's not great and wonderful enough with all that she has without having the kids and the husband and this and the that and the that. So I don't feel like you big your friend up enough in that area. Inviting her to your stuff is not the same as complimenting her on hers.
That's right. Yep.
So I don't know, but I'm pretty sure, and I say this because I've been in this friendship. I've been here. I'm pretty sure she's pulling away because she's tired of feeling inferior to your superiority.
You're self-imposed.
Right. Self-imposed superiority.
You're right. Exactly.
Like you make it, and it just like when you were reading the letter, it made me cringe because it brought me back to a space where I was that friend, where it was like, look, I got that, and it was like as if because I did it, it made me less of.
Right.
Because I haven't gotten that, I don't have that, and it was like I see it and I feel it, and that's probably why she's not, because she doesn't answer your calls, because she doesn't want to pick up the phone, and the first thing you do is rub in her face something that you have that she doesn't.
Yeah.
And you may not even realize that you're doing it. You may not be intentionally rubbing it in her face, but how you present things and how you show things to people and how you receive and take conscious effort to acknowledge what they're going through changes how things are taken. And so I feel like you have not taken a minute to be considerate of the fact that your friend doesn't have those. You're boasting that you do. You need to take a minute and realize your friend doesn't have these things. And she showed up for you. So she's not hating on you, but she's tired of you not taking into consideration the fact that she doesn't.
Exactly.
She don't want to go out to dinner with you and your husband by herself.
Right.
She don't want to go on trips with you, your husband, and her kid and your kids, and she don't have none of that.
Right.
It's hurtful. And you have not once stopped to be like, you good? Are you okay? How do you feel? What are you going through? What's happening with you emotionally? Like, are you okay with this? How does that affect you? Because as a woman who doesn't have kids, I'm going to say, it bothers me sometimes. I get in my head and my space and question myself about that. But I'm thankful I have sisters around me that will talk to me about it and put other things in perspective so that doesn't become a source of discomfort for me. Yeah. But if you don't have a friend who takes that into consideration for you, it can be very hurtful. And I feel like your inclusion of your friend is hurting her more than helping her because of how you're doing it. So I don't know her and I don't know you, but from judging on this, she's not the problem. You are.
That part.
You need to check yourself and take yourself off the pedestal that you've put yourself on solely because of these accomplishments. Those are not credible accolades. Because I don't know your friend, but your friend might have her own business and she make this much money and accomplish this, and she may have all of this stuff going on, but you didn't list none of that about her.
No,
you list all your credentials.
Right, that part.
You ran your credentials down like a resume. You didn't say nothing about my friend. Well, my friend has done. I did this first. I did it. just because you did it first don't mean you did it better.
And she not even the first to do it, period. She just the first to do it in their friend circle. Like,
and just because you were the first to do it, but in that group doesn't mean that when it's her turn, hers ain't gonna be just as fabulous, if not greater. But you are so busy basking in this, and maybe it's because maybe it's so much to you because these were things you never thought that you would accomplish, or maybe you thought she would have got it first, and you beat her to the punch. So now
she was the one in competition,
right? So now you feel like you've won up your friend.
Exactly.
So, sis, it's not her. And so if you're gonna reach out to your friend, so I was like Tiff said, if you were gonna reach out to your friend, when you reach out to her, check yourself first and really realize that her response to you may be you. You're the reason why she stopped calling you and stopped coming around because of how you made her feel.
Yeah.
So if you're not ready to hear that truth, leave that girl where she at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm done. That got me hot in my spirit because like it was just burning when you read this letter.
I see, girl. Yes, let's take a cleansing breath because this letter was intense. I want to kind of bridge the first letter and this letter together. It sounds like the friend already knew our advice about stop measuring your success or your value on somebody else. But our letter writer clearly is trying to.
Oh no, not during the good thought.
I was going to say that was about to be a good one. I hate this platform be doing her dirty like this.
They do. Like
hopefully she'll be back, but I just wanted to add after Tiff was talking, I wanted to say about the friend on the last letter. It's really unfortunate that she's accomplished all of those things in her eyes, but you have not mastered being a friend. Like that's something we should master in childhood. Like you a grown woman and you got the house and the husband and the cars and the business but you don't know how to be a friend. Yeah, there's some healing work that needs to be done in you. You know, she sounds like that one friend that when you call to talk, they somehow, command the whole conversation and then get off the phone and they never once ask how you doing. That sounds like the friend that she is. And that's really sad. Go ahead, Tiff.
Let me cut you off. You want to finish your statement?
I'm not sure at what part it got cut off. What I was saying is in the first letter, we advised the birthday girl to stop measuring her value based on other people's.
What is that? Whatever she about to say is good because the devil is like, the devil is like, nope, don't say that. She can't. Nope, you can't let her say that. She about to say something that's about to give a whole word.
Man, y'all been
every time she get to that point. Every time she get to that point, it'd be like freeze.
It'd be like,
nope, you can't say that.
Well, how about this? Go ahead.
While Tiff is waiting, maybe we should read some comments.
Yeah, I was going to say that, and we need to get to hear the gym. Oh, there she is. Go ahead, Tiff.
I'm gonna stop. First of all, New York City, it's raining cats, dogs, and every other animal it possibly can. So I'm gonna blame the shoddy Wi-Fi connection on that.
It was like that here yesterday.
We say whatever you have to say must about to be good because the devil. Every time you get to that point, the devil be like, nope.
Yep.
Look.
The foolishness, it's her weather because we had bad weather here yesterday. But so Daisha says, yes, what is the root cause? Is this the reason his previous marriage ended? The lack of quality time or meeting each other's needs? That's a really good question. And these are questions that y'all should be asking during the courting season. That's another thing. We don't vet our partners well at all anymore. Like we confirm 3 key areas: 6 feet, 6 figures, more than 6. Y'all know what it is. And then y'all ready to marry the man, but y'all don't know jack about him. So yeah, y'all need to do better vetting. Let me say we, not y'all. Kiara says, okay, so here comes my version of devil's advocate. I feel like he got you to give up your stuff intentionally. Not all men do this, but some men see successful women as competition and will do whatever it takes to win the imaginary competition in his head. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Y'all can keep them little boys at the house. I don't want them. Mm-mm. I am not interested in them. Mama T says, "Come on, Mel Vanderpool, you preaching." I know that's right. Bernadette is giving us the hand claps. Appreciate you.
Oh.
Is that Dre? Dre Lloyd says, "Good
That's
night,
my
Diamond."
sister.
Oh,
Hey,
hi.
sister.
Welcome to the show. I should have known they was Caribbean talking about hello, good night. Hello, good night. Daisha says, text it to Tima or Mel. Text what? What they sending
Hey,
us?
I was gonna like text what?
What's that? Well, let us know, Daisha. What they sending?
What they texted?
All right, Tiff, you want to try one more time to get that comment out before we go to the no? You gonna do you want to type it in the comments for the gym?
You muted. Hold on, we gotta unmute you.
Say what now?
There you go.
I said I'm gonna save it for a reel for tomorrow because I had to mute myself because I was in here cursing out Optimum.
She said Tiff's comment. We got y'all, Daisha. We will make sure we share her reel when she posted. But all right, this is the part of the show where we get to drop a gem on you, gems and gents. It does not necessarily have to be relevant to the show, but just something we think you should know that might help you in your healing journey. As you all know, the Hustle and Shine podcast, as well as TGI and the Diamond Writers, we focus on championing men and women in their personal healing and wholeness journeys. And so everything we talk about, share, and advocate for points back to healing. And so first, I want to thank everybody again for bearing with us. Yep, here's a gem. Sorry. Thanks, Mel. Thanks for bearing with us in our technical difficulties. Thank you for sticking around for the show going over time. We are going to do better at these things in the future, but we really do appreciate your grace and your understanding that we are still growing and evolving and building. And with building and growing, there are growing pains. So thank you so much. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and share the replay of this with your friends on YouTube. We are also now streaming live from Instagram. So feel free to share the Diamond Writer page on Instagram as well, and invite people to come and watch us when we're live on there. So now, again, it is time for Here's a Gem. Tiff, we're going to go to you first so that we can get it done because your weather is trifling right now. So go ahead.
It sure enough is. Here is my gem.
Drop your gem.
We ask y'all to write these letters in. We love that you're coming in. Don't be an asshole. Like, yes, I said ask hole. Do not ask questions that you actually know the answer to. And your hope is that we're going to give you the answer you want to hear that's going to make you feel better about yourself. No, we're going to give you the truth. And then when you get your answer, yes, process it, mull it over, really take it in. But when you start knowing that that answer is right, don't be like, all right, I heard them, but I'm going to go over here and do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. There is no growth in being an asshole. Put that on a bag.
There's no growth in being an asshole.
Somebody put that in the comments, please. Drop that in the comments, Diamonds. Don't be an asshole. But make sure y'all do submit your Dear Diamond letters. You can do that on our website at diamondwriters.com/Dear Diamond. We would love to hear from you. We love giving you advice. Our advice is sincere, even if it's not what you want to hear. All right, Mel, go on and drop a gem for the people.
I think after today's episode, my only gem is that we're so quick to want to point our fingers at other people when things go wrong or don't appear the way we want them to appear. But I urge you to, before you point the finger at somebody, ask yourself, what did you do? How did you contribute to this situation? Mm-hmm. And asking yourself does not mean that the other person is not at fault, but every situation that involves two people involves two people. Mm-hmm. You contributed something just as much as that other person, and you can't change people, but you can change yourself. Yep. So before you point to be like, well, this person did this or that person did that, or why is this person not doing this or why is this person not doing that? Ask yourself, what did you do? Yep. What have you changed, or what do you need to change? Yeah. Whether it's for that situation or just for your own personal growth and wellness. Mm-hmm. We focus so much on other people, what other people like, what other people want, what other people want us to do. And we spend less time worrying about and focusing on ourselves and what we can do for ourselves. And so I charge you to put that same energy that you're giving to other people, Give it to yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
That is good. Those were some gem droppers. So look, mine, I guess you can kind of tie it into today's topic, or the last letter, at least, about friendship, or even the first letter, where we are not doing the best job of teaching our children how to be friends or how to be friendly. And when I mean friendly, I don't mean like, predator target friendly. I just
Right.
mean, friendly to their peers. And a big piece of that is because we are not teaching them boundaries. I'm learning this as a parent, as I'm healing. I am recognizing where during my brokenness, I was literally damaging my children by not teaching them boundaries. What I mean by that is, in order to teach them boundaries, you have to help them enforce them by respecting them. You cannot say stupid stuff like, I'm the parent, this is my house. No, if your children have to knock on your door, you should knock on their door. It has nothing to do with good parenting. That's just ego. This is my house. I ain't got to knock on doors. Yes, you do. Because how else do you then teach your children that that is a boundary? They have to do what you do, not just what you say do. And so that is my gem. As I am learning this with my girls, I encourage you to really reconsider your approach to parenting. A lot of what we got in our parenting from our parents is really generational trauma patterns. It's not good parenting. And so you have to recognize your opportunity to break those cycles and start new. So I am teaching my daughters how to enforce or how to set and enforce boundaries by respecting them. If my daughter's in her room with her door closed, I knock first. Yeah, it's my house and I pay the mortgage here, but that's still her room. And how is she supposed to embrace her room and take ownership of it when it's time to clean it and keep it clean if I don't teach her how to respect it as that being her own private space? So let's do better at teaching our children boundaries by not only helping them to enforce them, but then respecting them so that they understand how this thing works. So that is literally my gem for the night. And it's only because I'm literally in the midst of that. I'm learning that right now as a parent. I am starting over. I got a 15-year-old and a 7-year-old. And I'm like, yeah, I see where you got to change. I see where you got to grow up. So that I'm trying to do that. And I hope that that helps you. Am I forgetting anything, ladies, that I forget to mention? Anything in terms of like, share, subscribe, follow, tell a friend to tell a gem to show up here next Wednesday? We have a very special guest, one of my favorite people, one of the founders of DBDS, Mr. Carl, the accountability coach, will be in the building. We have a super dope topic for y'all, so you do not want to miss this conversation. He is literally the male version of Mel. You're getting the truth and nothing else. Like, he's a great blend of me and Mel. You're getting accountability and truth. That's like, he ain't offering nothing else. But show up here next week, same time, same platform. And until then, continue to hustle
and shine.
Good night, y'all. Take it away, Mel.
Let's go.